Permanent provoke auto Hydra nightmare 1 key. Let's get into it. What's up YouTube? Today I've got a new video for you guys. Now it's about the Hydra team I've been running. Now I said I was going to showcase this team doing brutal, and I'm going to make it auto and show you guys that you can run this team on auto for brutal. But then I thought, if it can do it on nightmare, it can do it for brutal, and it can do for all other difficulties in the game. So I just went ahead and tuned this team up to do nightmare, so you can see it can, if it can do nightmare, it can do all of the difficulties. Now let me show you which team I am talking about. This is the team that I've run for this week's nightmare auto team. Now the rotation has changed. This is a different rotation, however this team deals with it perfectly fine. The team I have is Sifi lead for the resistance aura and the revive block debuffs. We have Skullord for the mischief bait, for the provoke on decay, for the decrease attack, all these great things that Skullord does. Then we have Kimi for the increased speed and decreased speed. Sifi gives increased speed too, but the decreased speed from Kimi is fantastic, since we want to make sure decay stays provoked throughout the whole fight, so we don't want him to take any actual turns or do any actual abilities. Then we have Husk and Royal Guard for DPS, and then we have a little bit of healing and cleansing and block debuffs and decreased defense from Ugo. So I'll show you guys how this run went. Before I do, let me show you the presets for this team. Now I've gone over this preset before, but I'll just quickly run over it again. You want revive from Sifi, and you want increase speed and block debuffs to be the second priority. You want Skullord to always do his A2, since it's the provoke and it's on a 2-turn cooldown. You want to provoke decay over and over again, and then the second thing you want is abyssal clutch for decreased attack. You want decreased speed and decreased accuracy to come out of Kimi first, then increase speed. We have Husk doing despair first, and then we don't want him to use retaliate, even though it's higher multiplier. We want the cycle of magic to proc on despair, so we get this back quicker. On Royal Guard, since this guy is running with increased accuracy, this is enough accuracy to land his A3. However, since we're running Kimi in this team, I should have turned off the hamstring ability and just let Kimi do the decreased speed for us, since he's on a 3-turn cooldown and we're pretty certain that we're going to land or keep decreased speed up all the time, so we don't really need a A3. We could have turned the A3 off and just used the A2, but since there's enough accuracy with increased accuracy to land decreased speed, it's fine on there too. And then we have Ugo with his A2 with decreased defense and block buffs first. Then we don't really want to put priority on Ugo's cleanse. Now his AI is pretty smart. If everybody's max HP and nobody has a debuff, he won't really go for the cleanse, and he'll hold his cleanse for more of a clutch situation where you actually would need it. So you don't want to force Ugo to do his cleanse, you just force him to do the block buffs whenever he has it available and decreased defense. And if his AI thinks that A3 is needed, he can then go ahead and land it. Quickly, the sets, I'll tell you what I'm running. I'll show you at the end, but quickly running them through. Sifi's running Swift Parry, Skullord is using Reflex, Kimi is just using Stats, Husk is using Savage, Royal Guard is using Relentless, and also Ugo is in Relentless. You can see the stats on the side as well. Alright, so let's jump into a run and see how this team performed. Now, I won't go through the whole fight, talk you through what exactly goes on. I'll just tell you my priorities, what I'm looking for in this fight. So as you can see, straight out the gate, I've put the target onto decay because I want my Skullord to land provoke on him and make sure he doesn't do any of his abilities. The only thing I would say is an issue is that Husk and Skullord are both red affinities, and this starting lineup has 2 green affinities. For Husk, the problem is the damage that he does onto decay is a little bit lower. He can weak hit from time to time, so killing off decay is a bit of an issue. You could probably run 2 Royal Guards, but you'll see running 2 Royal Guards, Royal Guard can die or is the one who dies first since he's the squishiest. And Husk, being a HP based champion, his survivability is very strong. The other issue is our Skullord also is red affinity, so he's going to be weak hitting Wrath. You can see he doesn't have decreased attack up on Wrath just at this moment, so we could be losing our Royal Guard to the damage that comes out from Wrath. It is something that happens. It is 35% chance of happening, but sometimes it feels like the 35% happens 100% of the time, and you just can't land debuffs on champions who are strong affinity. But in the end, you'll see it won't be too much of an issue. Our Royal Guard will get revived from a single target revive from Sifi with 100% turn meter as well, so that's good. We also have a cleanse coming out from Ugo, so that gives a bit more of healing as well. And Husky's survivability is nice, even though you don't mind him dying in that position because he was marked, and since a champion who's marked dies, the mark switches to a different champion. It went to Ugo, so it's all good at this point. We have to wait for Sifi to revive him. The single target revive, I believe, is on a 4-turn cooldown, so we have to wait for Sifi to bring back Husk, but it's not too much of an issue. We'll be able to keep the provoke up, keep the decreased speed, and we have Ugo now back. Hopefully he doesn't die again, and we're just going to keep him provoked, and we'll let this key run through. I'm going to speed up this key. Before I do go away, I'm just going to let you guys know that when I got to 20 million damage on this team, I had to step away because Mrs. Streamer asked for me to come do something for her, so I stepped away. After 20 million I was AFK, I didn't click on anything, and you'll see that there won't, if decay comes up, I wasn't clicking on him. In fact, I haven't even seen, I've seen what the final damage was, but I didn't see how the team performed after 20 million, so I'll be watching it for the first time as well. So I'll speed this team up, enjoy the run, and at the end I'll show you the stats and the sets on the champions, and we'll basically go over what was good about this team and what was bad about it. So enjoy the run. I will let this continue on through. There was a cleanse that came out from decay there, so that's annoying, but again, we got him provoked again. We'll land the debuffs again. It's not too much of an issue. So I'll get off, I'll speed this run through, and you guys will be able to see this key full auto. So here it is. This is the 1 key, 51.31 million damage. Pretty impressive damage. I would say it did the 36.6 million damage. I went back and checked. It did it in 13 minutes, which is pretty nice. 13-minute 1 key. It's a pretty nice team. We have Sifi at 500,000, Vargao at 1.2 million, Lady Kimi at 2.6 million, Husk at 20, and Royal at 24 million, and Ugo did 2 million damage himself. So pretty nice amount of damage overall. Royal Guard out damaged Husk, even though he was dying slightly more. His affinity matchups were slightly better, I would say. The affinity matchup favored him a little bit more over Husk, but Husk was doing the decent amount of damage. He wasn't dying as much, or he's less likely to die because of his stats and because of him being a HP champion. But Royal Guard is also clutch. If we had his A3 turned off, Royal Guard could have done a little bit more damage because his we might have gotten one or two more procs out of his enemy max HP hit. But pretty happy with the damage. As you can see, no Krisk, no Tuhanarak in this team. There is Sifi, but you can run any reviver in Sifi spot. You can run Duchess, you can even try somebody like a Cardiel, or you can run Arbiter too. You can run Ursula in that position too. Any champion that would give you a revive. So it's pretty decent. Ursula I would say a little bit annoying because she does have revive even if there's no champion dead. But like I said, team really consistent. Let me show you what these champions were running gear wise and what their masteries look like. So these are the builds. We have Sifi in Swift Parry, 333 speed, rare survivability. We have Skullord in 80k HP, 478 resistance. He has Sifi aura, so he doesn't need anything more than that. I'm going quite quickly, so I'm going to go back to Skullord's stats because there are a lot of stats we need to bear in mind. 253 speed. The faster you can get Skullord, the better it is because you want to cycle that provoke around, and you also have reflex on him, so sometimes you get back-to-back provokes, which is pretty nice. The defense doesn't really matter too much. His survivability is huge. He puts strengthen on himself, so he won't be dying. Crit rate, I didn't really focus too much on crit rate, but his resistance 478. If you're using Sifi aura, all you need is 430, 420 resistance, 370 accuracy is all you need, 375, 400 to be on the safe side, but 370, 375 is all you need on Skullord. On Kimi, we'll see we have just stats, no sets. We have 60k HP, 320 speed, 400 accuracy. On Husk, we're not using him for provoke, we're only using him for damage, so he's in savage right now. He is using a perception set, so it's 223 accuracy on him. I'm going to quickly take a look at the speed on him. He's probably in around 230 is speed, 270 is crit damage. Then we have Ugo in Relentless, 70k HP, 273 speed and 370 accuracy. And Royal Guard in Relentless, we have 40k HP, 253 crit damage, and Relentless we don't have him with anything else. These are the masteries as well for all these champions, and that is the team. That is how I ran this team. That's how I ran this week for Nightmare. Normally I use this team for Brutal, but as you see it works perfectly fine on Nightmare as well. So let me know what you guys think of the team, let me know what you guys are running, and I'll catch you guys in the next upload. Peace.